Welcome to episode 3 on our series on motor testing. Today we're going to be talking about surge testing. Surge testing is one of those really important tests because it tells us if there's a failure between turn to turn or coil to coil, something that the other two tests don't tell us. So if we come over here, let's have a look at a bit of the equipment. So here we've got the actual test unit itself, then we've got the motor set up, now we've got the test leads running from the testing equipment to each of the individual phases. And we've got a ground clip on the top.
I'm now going to draw us a quick diagram. So this is going to represent our motor, and our motor has a single start point. The start point is where each of the three phases is connected. So if you look at these represent our phases of our motor. In this case, we have 3 phases. Our testing equipment then is over here. And out of that, we want to connect one phase lead up to each of the different phases. We also then put a ground lead which is connected onto the outside of the motor. When we're running the test then, so what we're looking to do. So say for example the first test we're running between phase 1 and phase 2. On the oscilloscope that will look something like this. To start with we'll have the high impulse and then the wave will begin to decay due to the impedance in the coils of the wire. In a successful test we'll see the waveform is repeated because the impedance is the same. But if we have a failure in one of the windings, whether this be coil to coil, turn to turn, or phase to phase, we'll see either a rapid decrease or shift in the waveform. So it looks something similar to this.
Okay, so now we've seen what happens in theory, let's look at the practice. So we've got the motor all tested up, and we've got the testing machine set up correctly to the correct voltage. Now if we hit this button, we start conducting our test.
Now we can look at the results of the testing. By clicking this button we can compare the different waveforms. And by down here we can see the percentage difference in the waveforms. For this particular test we've set up 5% as the maximum percentage difference. That means that by looking at all the results we can see that this motor's passed the test and is ready for the next stage.
Over the past 3 episodes, we've taken you through some of the basics of motor testing, with a special focus on the winding. Now it's really important that we test the winding, with up to 80% of motor failures caused by failures in the winding. But next week we're going to take a little bit more of a look into some of the dynamic aspects and other aspects of motor testing that are also important as part of our validation process here at iNetic.